Hello, everyone. This is Duran's Healing, and welcome to tonight's Healing Circle. For those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel where I provide weekly energetic updates for the collective. And if at any point this message resonates with you, please be sure to like, please be sure to subscribe, or comment below to let me know how this message is showing up in your world. And for starters, I would like to share or to say that this week has been very, very turbulent for me in a good way. Things are kind of moving and picking up. A lot of highly charged and highly intense energy that I was wrapped into this week. I hope you all have a great week, and I would like to take a moment and to dive into the messages to see what this energy is about. And please be sure to like, subscribe, or comment below to let me know if you're present for tonight's healing circle. And with that being said, let's get right into the messages. And the message that's speaking the loudest appears to me that your ancestors or your spirit guide are speaking very loudly and very intensely because they're making reference to your wisdom. It's about something you know. It's about something that you have that others may need. And the way the stones or the way the shells are falling is as if it's being pushed up. The shells are being layered on top of each other. And I will attempt to dissect and break them down to see what potent message is within them. What I'm gathering is I can see an image of a plane that is going high speed, trying to make its landing. Things get very intense when the seatbelt light is on and the pilot is letting you know to brace yourself because it may get turbulent. And what's at the forefront of this plane, or what is at the nose of this plane, is your wisdom. There's something ringing within me about the knowledge that you have. It's as if it's sacred. It's as if only you have it. It's very exclusive. And you're the carrier of this highly charged message. Groundbreaking, if you will. And on the wings of this plane, I can see that this plane is leaning a bit to the left. And what's pulling on this plane in this way is your otherworldly energy. It's powerful. Is potent, is very strong to be able to lean you in a certain direction. And what I'm gathering in this is that there's a particular side of you that is carrying a certain level of frequency that can't be seen by the naked eye but can only be felt. It's intangible. But the strength of it, the power of it is guiding you on your journey. And this is lending its way to how you cultivated the spiritual part of yourself. There's something about you living in the land of the spirit, living in that otherworldly energy source that others may not quite understand. You may not even have the words to articulate the experiences or the complexities of your spiritual journey. However, it doesn't diminish the power of it. It has meaning. It has value. It has spiritual currency enough to move you. And it is. You may have been a person that have often found your way on the other side, on the alternative side of things. Learning, reading, studying, trying to find out meaning to what you've been feeling, trying to find a certain energy source that is tapped into a level to where there's some remnants of understanding. You may have tried to find this with certain spiritual people, leaning on tarot readings, going on YouTube to find other answers to what you've been feeling, to what you've been dealing with. And I'm here to say it's a whole different world. And I can see that. And I understand what this is. It has more to do with energy and understanding how energy works. Why things are moving you in a certain direction. Why certain images, certain frequencies show up to you. And it doesn't show to others, because when you try to articulate this, it's as if your words are falling on deaf ears. You may have even gotten very negative responses to this part of yourself. Hearing this type of talk that you talk, hearing the words that you say, what are you talking about? But this has more to do with your understanding of the spiritual side of things and your ability to see it, and your ability to understand it without having the proper people to educate you on what you're seeing, what you're going through. And this may make you feel very alone, make you feel as if something is wrong with you. This is a very uncomfortable position to be in. However, hail to the lone wolf, because now the energies are aligning for you. All those years of isolation, all those years of outcast, of being the black sheep, or being the weird person that's always tucked away to the side. The value is rising. Your currency is rising now. And it's only the beginning. Because your otherworldly stone is connected to power. Yeah. It's connected to your power. It's connected to what kept you going, what kept you grounded, what kept you staying firm in your beliefs regardless of whether people were in your corner or not. And now it's time for it to be seen. The visibility of all this energy is requiring to be seen. It's a requirement of it. There's something connected to your wisdom and the visibility of it, right? It's like you can hold it close to your chest if you want. And you may have done this because you had no other choice. It may have been a defense mechanism. It may have been for the sake of protecting yourself, safeguarding this wisdom away from naysayers, away from people who didn't quite understand it. You preserve the sacredness of your wisdom. And now you're being rewarded for it. The energies are cultivating a certain blessing for you now because you stayed true to what you knew to be true. And there's a reward in this for you. And a part of it is the visibility of it. I mean, at this point, you should have courage enough to say what it is that you need to say. Now, at this point, you should have the strength to acknowledge when things may be right and things may be wrong, where there's contradictions, where there's oxymorons, where things may not quite mesh properly, because you can see the gaps in thinkings. You can see the gaps in consciousness. You can see the gaps in people's ways of life. This is a part of your gift. And the doors are opening for you. The portal is opening. Your ancestors or your higher team is kicking in to say, it's time. We have made a way for you to express the gift that you've always longed to express. And this is very unique and this is very powerful, because this has been a long time coming. What I'm gathering here, what I'm seeing flash through my forehead, through these visions that are coming in like waves. This is something you may be dealing with for a very long time. Being a truth teller is very uncomfortable. It's not something that one would choose to embark on. Because if you knew the challenges and the barriers and the ostracizing that come along with that, no one would willingly choose this position. However, you didn't let it deter you away from what you felt. Because deep down within, it was your gift all along. Your gift of sight, your gift of feeling, your gift of intuition that people often try to downplay and minimize. But no more, because the floodgates are open now. The truth will be heard one way or the other. And on the opposite end of this plane, if we're keeping up with the analogy, which is the tail end of this plane, is the devotion, which has been pushing you forward. You have been devoted. You have been committed to this process without knowing the outcome. You have been focused on the authenticity of it all. You've been focused on the purity of your energy, regardless of the changes that come, or regardless of the changes that have came your way, because you knew that the core mission was to ground this information, was to ground this wisdom. You may not have known it consciously, but something in your heart was potent enough for you to not drop it, for you to not get rid of it, for you to keep it close to your chest and stay moving forward. Because it was connected to your identity. It was connected to something within you. It became a part of your essence. It became a part of who you were. And you knew deep down within your core, you were in alignment. Regardless of what people say, regardless of what people said. Even though you may have experienced confusion in this process, you may not even have seen that this was the outcome. You kept a firm stance. And you saw the radical changes in your life. You saw it. You felt it. You experienced it. And these changes were so profound, it shifted your psyche. You knew not to question it. Confused, yes. May not have a proper understanding, yes. But to deny, absolutely not. You knew better. You knew not to go against yourself. You knew not to bet against yourself. You invested and trusted that if I can invest in me and trust in what I know, someday the stars will align. And I'm here to say the stars are aligning for you. The floodgates are opening for you. This is the part where the inside of you, that wild side, can finally be seen and liberated. Oh my God, you never have not been free. You may have been free inside your home. You may have been free inside your house, inside your bedroom. But denying yourself was never a part of the equation. So all these years, all the backlashes, all the challenges and changes, you shut the door and went inside your room and kept cultivating. You kept learning. You kept reading. You kept studying. You kept challenging yourself. You kept trying to figure out the equation to the puzzle that always challenged you. You kept it going. And you didn't stop there. You kept going until you figured it out. And a part of this puzzle is now finally being completed. And your wild side can be free without any backlash that you truly care about. Because you have developed an armor throughout these years. It's as if you were in your room studying and learning while simultaneously building your armor. It's as if you knew you were going into battle, going into something that was carry remnants of a war. I don't know what I'm gathering. It's more like you knew that you were preparing for battle because this wisdom was so potent. What you carried was something so strong. Yeah, you developed yourself. You cultivated yourself. And you watched people. Through all these years, you watched them. You listened to what they said. You took the time to go back and refurbish, took it to the drawing board, challenged it. Developed your hypothesis, experienced with it. Took what you gained and tried it again. Did the same thing and tried it again. To where now you got the answer that's so pure. To 100, as close as you can get it. To where now you feel confident. To now where you feel secure. There's nothing too many people can say to you unless they've done the work themselves. This is masterclass. This is where the top legions, where the top professionals meet and test their theories amongst one another. You're a professor now. You've mastered a certain level. Now you're at the table with giants. Now you're at the table with those who cultivated themselves in the very same way. Because you took the time to understand human behavior. You took the time to be a philanthropist, to be a humanitarian, because healing is at your core. You knew that you were here for healing. And in order to heal, you have to understand people. You have to understand problems and issues that the modern man faces. And you did it. You refurbished it. There's many different sources in your encyclopedia now, where you can sign your name and dot the I and cross the T and put your name on it. That's how confident you are. You've been working in the shadows. And now that the doors are opening, you quite literally have prepared yourself for this. You've been trained for this. It's time to show the world the wisdom that you've been cultivating. Period. Wow, very powerful message. Very powerful message, you guys. Ooh, I don't know who I'm picking up on, but I'm most definitely picking up on some healers, some diviners, some light workers that have been in the shadows doing the work. I'm proud to see this because I'm right along with you. I'm right there with you. There's so many stories I can tell you guys about so many different things I've been researching and studying and cultivating different modalities and methods for. Yeah, you're getting down to business now. And with that being said, you guys, I'm going to shift the energies to see what other messages the higher energy would like for me to share with you all. And at this time, if you're still here in tonight's healing circle, the fire is blazing bright. Thank you all for contributing your energy. If you're still here, please be sure to like, subscribe, share the video, or comment below to let me know that you're present. Let me know that you're going through this, or share your story so I can see what other diviners and powerful healers that are here in the circle tonight. And at this time, I'm going to shift the energies to see what other messages the higher energy would like for me to share with you all. I have shifted the cards while I was speaking, and I'm going to pull the cards that have came out to see what other messages the higher energy would like for me to share with you all. Give me 1 second, guys. The cards that came out were intimacy, redefine yourself, death to ego, waking you up at night, and sadness. This is a metamorphosis I'm feeling. I'm picking up on an energy of metamorphosing. Shapeshifter. What I'm downloading with this message is that because of your ascension, you have to give credit to yourself. You can be on this spiritual journey if you don't acknowledge the levels that you have accomplished, the demons that you have defeated, the challenges that you have overcome, the tribulations that you have successfully defeated. A part of it is not recognizing the growth in your spiritual process. Because with death to ego and sadness, this is about shedding your skin. This is about you accomplishing certain things in certain levels. And a part of your accomplishment is growth. And when you grow and when you overcome certain things, you have to shed skin. And this is an analogy. I'm speaking metaphorically. But if I attach it to a more mundane words, and forgive me as I'm trying to find the proper wording as I'm picking up on these highly charged energies and messages, is that you're going to experience emotions. You're going to experience your ego being challenged. You're going to experience sadness, getting rid of old friends because you no longer align anymore, because the part of you that you have accomplished, a part of you that has grown, may have been attached to certain people, places, and things. And as you shed skin, they are a part of that shedding. They don't understand why you're changing. They don't understand why you're moving differently, but you do. And even when you try to articulate this to them and explain why things are different for you, they don't. You're going to be met with a lot of different emotions. This is a highly charged thing because you're a human being at the end of the day. You know, even though you're spiritual, even though you're highly intuitive, very powerful, let me make that very clear. You're a very powerful being. And I'm very impressed. I love seeing you all in this way because it lets me know that you're doing the work. But the cards are showing to me the human side of this process that may not look as glamorous. You know, we often romanticize being healers, but we don't talk about the shedding of it all. No longer being able to associate with certain people because they're of a certain frequency. You can lean on them in certain ways, but it's not the same. The relationship changes as you change and as you grow because your energy is being pushed to a higher level because you are called to be a much powerful leader somewhere else. Because the energy is moving you as you accomplish certain levels. Pulling on your energy, causing you to wake up at night because all these energies that you're feeling, all the visions that you're downloading, all the messages that you're receiving, is as if you're a funnel or, all these messages are being channeled through you because of your frequency. Pulling you into different paradigms, pushing you into different dimensions, calling your leadership forward. Because as you elevate the intimacy, the thread of your frequency becomes thinner, and it pulls you to other frequential levels that are aligned with that energy. Because as you cultivate this spiritual side of you, the relationships deepen, the intimacy gets stronger, your trust begins to tighten in your ancestors, in your spiritual guides, in your spiritual, the trust is developed. And you know they're guiding you in the right place. And as you shed skin, you have to realize the counter is happening. You're redefining yourself. You have to reintroduce yourself a lot because of the constant shifts and changes. It's hard, it's difficult, it's uncomfortable. Morphing into a deeper, more pure version of the energy that's radiating at your core. And the higher you go, the thread gets thinner. Your frequency becomes more potent, calling you to move into other spaces, other frequencies that need that energy source in order to lift certain paradigms and dimensions. Yeah, that's the hard truth about being a healer. We can glamorize it a lot, but the cards are speaking to the other side of what it really means to morph, to shape shift. Now you're finding yourself doing things you've never done before, finding yourself around people that are similar to you, but you may be pulling yourself away from old versions of yourself that people hold dear to their hearts about you. And a lot of times it's attached to the lower version of yourself whatever version that may be. If you were a people pleaser, if you were a yes person, if you were a person of service, or you were a codependent person, whatever it was, that's the image that people saw you or see you as. And now you're shifting, now you're changing. How dare you? Because you were serving something for them. But at this time, because what's happening in the stones, it can be very challenging because the energy is calling you to move. The energy is calling you to stand forth as the leader that you've always longed to be. This is what you've been doing. This is what you've been cultivating. This is what you've been praying for in the heat of the night. Wow, very powerful message, you guys. Very powerful message. And I didn't get to do a reading this week because the energy was so charged. And I know we're well past our mark, but I'm called to hang out a little bit. I want to get back into the stone. So if I'll do this for those who've been here, those who are my core audience, those who love being a part of this healing circle. We're going to get back into the stones right now. For those of you who've, reached your threshold, I understand if you have to leave at this time. For those of you who are ready to blaze this fire a little bit more, since it's burning bright, please be sure to like it or subscribe if you're ready to get down to a little bit more, because we're going to hang out a little bit tonight. I'm going to get back at this time. I'm going to shift the energies to get back into the stones to see what other messages the higher energy would like for me to share with you all. And what's pulling my vision has to do with the other world, which is the fire. And I can see the keystone, which is the key of access. This lets me know that you have like a code, like you've been given certain privileges. You've been given a certain level of access to the spirit world so that you can nurture your creativity. If your creativity or a space that you've been in seems endless, seems bottomless, seems like it has no end, it's because you have a certain key to a door that most people don't. Your connection to the spirit world is quite profound. It's quite unique. And many people don't have this. It's because of the energies that are in support of you. There's something about your creativity that rings very loudly to them, or that excites your spirit guides or your spirit team. Oh, you may be someone that is hiding. For lack of better words, if you were an artist, you would be keeping an album secret, right? This would be if you were a dancer or someone, you would be keeping your choreography secret. If you were an author, you would keep your book a secret. There's something that you have kept a secret. Well, not from me, but, from outsiders, because I can see in the stones. But whatever it is potent. It's powerful. And it's going to change the world. It's going to shift the paradigm. You keeping it a secret, rightfully so. If I were you, I would check the people around me. I would check my circle to make sure there's no moles, to make sure there's no one that is against me to leak this type of information. And if you don't think that what you have is powerful, I need you to think again. The energy is way too strong. The shells are way too, there's many shells here, which means there are a lot of people in the spirit world that are helping you cultivate this creative side of you. It's authentic too. It's pure. For those of you who have something that you've been working on, that you may think is a hobby, that you may think is small, there's something in that that's saying, check yourself. There's nothing small about it. What you have is something profound. It's going to change the paradigm. It's going to change the frequency of the dimension that you're in, because the frequency of it is coming from the other side. Not only that, there are other entities and other beings that are invested in it. They're invested in the success of it. So there is going to be a push for your success in it that's coming from the spirit world. Don't question this. Trust yourself. If I can lend any degree of information to you from the higher energies on a very personal level, trust yourself. Trust your guidance right now. Trust that what you have is very strong. It's as if you're playing cards, you're holding the deck, you're holding the spades right now. People may call it bluff. You know how it goes on the table, the card table, when you're counting books and playing spades, and you're holding the big joker, the little joker. The cards will tell eventually, and you're holding the big joker. But there's something here that's holding the release of this. I'm going to give you an opportunity to guess what it is. If you're my core audience, I'm not playing. I'm playing with you guys, but I love this. I enjoy this. But if you're my core audience and you have been listening to me for quite some time, you will know what stone is here. What is holding us back? It is the obstacle stone, that person. The obstacle stone is here. Oh my word. How can something so powerful and so it's so profound and ready for release? It's as if what I'm seeing is that you're holding a bow and arrow and it's pulling back, and you have the eye on the target, ready to release, but you can't release because the obstacle stone is holding your hand. Why is it here? What is this obstacle stone about? Because it always shifts the energy. Things are moving so freely, so powerfully, of abundance. The message that I just got out was so, Jesus. At this time, I'm going to pull some cards to see what this obstacle is about. What is this obstacle that's holding the collective from releasing itself? Okay, the cards have fell. The cards that came out were expansion, boss, water, and toxic relationships. Okay, I can see now. I can see what this is. This may be something that you're dealing with internally. If you're fearful or you're scared of expanding yourself, or it's as if you're scared of the consequences, you're scared of the repercussions, you're scared of the success that is attached to you. You're a boss. You're a leader. And something about water is needed here. something about you needing to be in a flow of the newer version of yourself. You may be so attached to who you were, you really don't know what it is to be this new version of yourself. It's unfamiliar. You haven't been the new version. You don't know what it comes with. You don't know what it means to embody a boss, a leader in a spiritual world or the spiritual realm or the spiritual side of things, because you've been so used to the mundane side and trying to keep up with the status of it all. Even though you may have removed yourself from the direct correlation or the direct relationship of what the status quo is or what society put on you, there's still something in your mind that says, I must fit in. I must not rock the ship too hard. I don't want to be a target. I don't want to go too far, to be viewed a certain way by my family and friends. You're still attached to that narrative. But what you don't see is the toxicity in that thinking. And some of these relationships that you still hold dear to your heart were very much so were toxic, because toxic relationship came out. This is about conditioning, breaking out of the condition of being what people told you or expect you to be. And you may have molded yourself, even though you cultivated yourself in the room, in the corridors, in the shadows. You weren't cultivating yourself out in the open to see the backlash or the responses from the people that were closest to you. This is what's preventing you from releasing the bow and arrow from your target. Ooh, you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let it go in order to make the kill. And this is an analogy. The kill is not killing. The kill is more to do with you standing out in the open as yourself fully. That's what this is about. Not being afraid of expanding the deepest part of yourself so the world can see you, regardless of how they view you. You have one life to live, and your job is to live it freely. Period. This fire was burning bright tonight. The fire was burning bright tonight. Thank you all for joining my healing circle. I'm going to close out tonight. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please be sure to like, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages were showing up in your world. With that being said, I'm going to close out tonight's healing circle for you guys get me in more trouble. And I will see you at the next.